I'm back. So, after a while of being sick and tired and depressed, I decided it was time to film videos again. So, as you'll probably be aware, this month is Pride Month, and I am gay. I've already made a video about that and stuff, but the thing I love about Pride is seeing rainbows everywhere. I love rainbows anyway, always have done. And the advertisement and stuff. I get to see where I'm accepted and where I'm not going to get bullied for being gay or whatever. Because that's the thing that still happens. And it just makes me know where I can feel safe. The thing I hate about this is seeing the comments on some of the videos and some of the things that people have been saying about, oh, why don't we get straight pride? Oh, why do they need to take a whole month to celebrate? Oh, what about soldiers? Oh, what about these people? What about this? What about that? And they list people that they don't care about the rest of the year, who already have months or days named after them in support of them. Also, when they say about soldiers, what about the gay soldiers, hey? Just saying. So, today I'm going to tell you why we need Pride. So here's a little history that I have taken from a website that I will link in the bio. Sorry, I'm holding my phone today, so my hand's getting a bit tired. So, can I leave it there? Cool, excellent, awesome. So, 1533, King Henry VIII passed the Buggery Act, which wasn't explicitly targeting homosexual acts because it also applied to sodomy between men and women and a person with an animal and stuff, but male homosexual convictions were the more common publicised ones, and it was punishable by death. 1828, the act was repealed and a new language of the law focused on male homosexuality, and it was still punishable by death. The last two men executed for homosexual acts was in 1835, and it was revoked. The death penalty for it was revoked. It was still illegal. So in 1921, it was attempted by 3 MPs to add a clause to this law that any act of gross indecency between 2 female persons shall be a misdemeanour and punishable in the same manner as any such act committed by male persons under Section 11 of the Criminal Law Amendment Act 1885. So despite them agreeing that lesbianism was distasteful and an attack on the fundamental institutions of society, the Houses rejected it because there was concern that it would draw attention to the offence and encourage women to explore their sexuality. So it wasn't made illegal for lesbians because they thought we would fight them so hard that it would make more lesbians. Yeah, alright. In 1951 was the first known British transgender woman to undergo vaginoplasty was in 1951. She was a former Spitfire pilot, and her autobiography was published in 1954. After World War II, there was an increase in arrests. The Wolfenden Committee released a report recommending to decriminalise gay sex between consenting adults over 21, except in the armed forces. It said, homosexual behaviour between consenting adults in private should no longer be a criminal offence. The Archbishop of Canterbury supported it, but the government rejected it. I advise you reading this thing because there's lots of bits that I'm not putting in here because they're not massively important, but they're like all the magazines that started to be printed and stuff. like groups that were set up in support. So in 1967, the Sexual Offences Act decriminalised homosexual acts between two men, both over the age of 21, in private. The age of consent for homosexuals was 21, whereas heterosexuals was 16, and lesbians. Don't forget that lesbians aren't illegal. Frowned upon, but not illegal. And this act only applied to England and Wales. So in the 50s and 60s, therapists were employed aversion therapy to cure male homosexuality, and it was adopted by the World Health Organization and used as standard worldwide. It was listed as a mental disorder. In 1970, the Gay Liberation Front was founded, and in 1971, their manifesto was published, challenging gay people to understand how and why they were repressed and encouraging them to come out and be visible and fight for change. Numerous factions within the group made consensus impossible, and the collective disbanded in late 73. The first UK Gay Pride March was held in London in 1972 on July the 1st. It went from Trafalgar Square to Hyde Park, with about 1,000 people marching through the capital. That made me smile so much. In 1980, sex between two men over the age of 21 in private was decriminalised in Scotland, and the age of consent for gay and bisexual men was set at 18. The first UK case of AIDS was recorded in 1981. A 49-year-old man was admitted to Brompton Hospital in London and died 10 days later. In 1982, homosexual acts were decriminalised in Northern Ireland. Also in 1982, the Terence Higgins Trust was set up when Terry Higgins died of AIDS, and it was the UK's first AIDS charity. AZT became available in March 87. For those who don't know, AZT is a medication used to prevent and treat HIV and AIDS. There was outcry in May 1988 when a copy of Jenny Lives with Eric and Martin by Susan Bosch was found in a local library, and it caused such an outcry that it escalated so much and resulted in Section 28. So in Section 28, it denied local authorities the ability to support LGBT constituents. Funding was withdrawn from art projects. Education resource materials that prompted an alternate gay family were censored. Sir Ian McKellen came out on BBC Radio 3 during a debate in 1989, and he co-founded Stonewall, which is a well-renowned group lobbying for LGBTQ rights. In 1990, the Lesbian and Gay Police Association was founded by Constable James Bradley, showing the need for representing the need and interests of gay and bisexual police officers. In 1992, the World Health Organization removed homosexuality from its list of mental disorders. After 24 years, so many people within that time faced such tragic treatment and really messed them up, because obviously there's no cure for being gay, because why would you want to cure that? Like, my phone ran out of storage, so now we're at this angle and I have coffee. And it was introduced by, so in 1994, Conservative, surprisingly, Edwina Currie introduced the amendment to lower the age of consent for homosexuals to 16. So that was, but the vote was defeated and it was 18 instead. Lesbian age of consent was not set. In October 2000, the Scottish Government abolishes Section 28. Although legislation was introduced to do the same in England and Wales, it was defeated. Thanks, Scotland, for being excellent supporters. In 2001, the UK lifts the ban on gay, lesbian and bisexual people serving in the armed forces. Age of consent for gay and bi men is lowered to 16 in 2001 as well. In 2002, equal rights for adoption was set in place so that same-sex couples and single gay and lesbian people could adopt children. In 2003, finally, Section 28 is repealed in England, Wales and Northern Ireland. In 2003, it was set in place that it was illegal to discriminate against lesbian, gay and bisexual people in the workplace. And on the 18th of November 2004, the Civil Partnership Act was introduced by Labour to give same-sex couples the same rights and responsibilities as married heterosexual couples. It came into effect on 5th of December 2005. The Gender Recognition Act came into effect on the 4th of April 2005, giving trans people full legal recognition in their appropriate gender. In 2008, same-sex couples were recognised as legal parents of children conceived through the use of donated sperm, eggs or embryos. The Equality Act of 2010 legislates for equal treatment in access to employment as well as private and public services regardless of age, disability, gender reassignment, marriage and civil partnership, race, religion or belief, sex or sexual orientation. It allows religious people to refuse same-sex marriage ceremonies. In 2014, you could get married. So the first same-sex marriages took place in England and Wales on the 29th of March 2014. In 2016, Prince William was on the cover of Attitude magazine, a well-known gay magazine, showing his support and saying that nobody should be bullied for their sexuality. See, all these things are just so new. And when I was reading these, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know half of this stuff. I should have known my history. You know? Stuff like this is why we need Pride. It's not about going, hey, I'm gay, it's wonderful. It's about going, hey, I'm gay, I love it, and I'm allowed to be it in public. I can hold hands with my girlfriend walking down the street, and although, yes, I may get some weird looks and some comments, I'm not going to get arrested. I'm not going to get put in therapy. I will get put in therapy because I'm heavily depressed, but, you know, I hope this has educated you. Happy Pride.